facts now. Yeah?
Go on then.
Okay. So, obviously we've just briefly mentioned about how, you know, it was this and Pocahontas. And they were both being worked alongside each other. So, Lion King was Team B and Pocahontas was Team A. And that was the one that everyone went to.
Yeah, it was the prestigious.
So, The Lion King was a team of people that hadn't been given the opportunity to be lead animator before. What I find ironic, if that is the right word,
We'll see, because I'm very...
yeah, is that The Lion King is a team of up and coming animators, and like looking back, the Black Cauldron and the Fox and the Hound, that was the up and coming animators at that time, and yet they weren't as successful. And could it be that, I hate to say it, but that
You will be hating to say it.
Katzenberg, as well as obviously Eisner, being there in charge, had made a difference?
I think the thing is you still had people from the old guard involved in those two films, The Fox and the Hound and The Black Cauldron.
So maybe because this team, because they weren't expecting this film to be the success, they had more freedom than, say, Pocahontas. So maybe Katzenberg was overseeing Pocahontas a bit more because that was the one. However, watching the documentary about the Lion King and that Waking Sleeping Beauty documentary, he really tries to take credit and like all the credit for the Lion King, which really annoys me.
I mean, he was on that plane with Roy E. Disney and Peter Schneider, and he did, like, we need to do that. He did
fair enough.
an Africa project.
Yeah.
He also, you know, used his own personal experiences.
It's like, I know. But then it's the like, which Nathan Lane talks about in that documentary as well. Because he was dragged on to the promotional tour. And like, Katzenberg's there on stages with a real lion. As if like he's some lion tamer. Yeah. Oh, it's so cringe. As if he's like Disney himself. Like, oh, here's my film. My amazing film you're going to love.
Would we have found it cringe if it was Bob Iger doing it though? I don't like Katzenberg either.
I don't like him, Maybe, but Bob Iger is just, it's Bob.
Yeah. Like, I'll tell him next time.
Please do. Please, because, The Wildebeest Stampede.
Yes, I got this one as well.
Okay. Took 3 years to animate.
They're all on computer. It took 5 animators. They had to be specially trained. And basically the computer randomizes what those animals do. So there's no control apart from the fact it's got to run in a certain direction.
I didn't look into it, but I'm assuming it's the same that was used for Jurassic Park, you know, with the Gallimimus. That scene where Grant is running with the kids and they're running because the T-Rex is behind them. And I know that took a long time to make that. So... that Stampede, obviously in the Gallimimus in the Jurassic Park, I think there's maybe 20. Whereas, I mean, I have no idea how many wildebeest. There's got to be a couple of hundred. Easy.
Yeah, they're all designed and multiplied.
And then it's like, but as well, it's the dust. Yeah. You know, and the shadows. And getting the foreground as well, because you see it from Simba's perspective as well as the bird's eye view, and amazing. I mean, no wonder it took 3 years. Now it would probably take 3 days. Yeah. Something like that.
I mean, what was good about this film, so over this course, you know, we learnt about different animation techniques being used throughout this period, from the Black Cauldron onwards, basically. This one feels like it's pushing it further, whereas Pocahontas doesn't. It almost feels like this is the experiment to use this. Yeah. Whereas Pocahontas just feels like, we know what we're doing. which actually leans back to after Walt, basically, you know, where it comes to the Jungle Book and Robin Hood, where it is a case of, well, we know what we do, we're not going to do anything too fancy.
Well, in spite of having, obviously, CGI, there was over 600 artists involved, including animators, technicians. More than 1 million drawings were created, including 1,197 hand-painted backgrounds and 119,058 individually coloured frames of film. I think you mentioned earlier about them going on a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, to study animal behaviour, interaction in the wild, and they also had a lion and a cub brought in for the animators to study the anatomy and the muscle of the...
Which harks back to
Bambi
and Lady in the Tramp.
But the Pride Rock and the Gorge is based on Hell's Gate National Park in Kenya. So that is potentially, you know,
the location.
A real place. Maybe not, you know, together, but you know, as in, because it's a park.
Yeah.
And speaking of Africa, so it's the first Disney cartoon to be dubbed in Zulu for its release. And the languages in the film include Zulu and Swahili. Both have roots in the Bantu language, which has a similar relationship to that of Latin. So like how ours is all based on Latin. And a distinction of Swahili is that it has Arabic influence. And this is due to Arab traders and explorers that came along the east central coast of Africa. Yeah, right. So my LGBTQ fact. Right? So it was nearly banned. Right?
Okay.
This is going to be maybe a surprise or maybe not a surprise. Oh yeah, when I read this I was like, you know, steam was coming out of my ears because of the year. So it was nearly banned in Hungary.
Right.
in 2021 due to the country's strict anti-LGBTQ plus media laws. Because it was thought that Timon and Pumbaa raising the young Simba promoted non-traditional gender roles. The government assembled a committee that researched the movie for 14 days with taxpayers' money, but in the end, the committee concluded that Timon and Pumbaa are probably not gay and decided to not ban the film. So, yeah. I won't be going to Hungary.
No, I mean...
That is now on the list with, you know, Russia and who else? Who else doesn't like the gays?
Jesus, how long's your podcast? Timon and Pumbaa, whether or not they're in a relationship, they brought that line up.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what you're actually saying is two guys can bring the line up as long as they're not having sex with each other.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, not only that, 14 days at taxpayers' money.
I mean, how many times did they need to watch it? I think we were taking the piss out of them. We're like, they're going to ban this film. Let's watch it.
Yes. I'm not being funny or anything like that, but this is how many years after the film was released?
I know.
That's an excuse.
Now,
where did they watch it? Disney World?
I know.
Did they go on holiday and do that? I'm getting up. They had a holiday, all expenses paid, watching The Lion King. They did not watch it for 14 days.
I mean, China's another one that has weirdly banned certain films over the years, but we've always known they've done that. Like I say, I think they're going to ban this film. Let's watch it as much as we can before they take it away from us. Right, and my last fact. So Mufasa's death was going to be worse. It was going to be more heartbreaking and intense. But after a test audience, it included children, cried uncontrollably, they toned it down. Now, I couldn't find out what... Do you know what as well? They say they did these test screenings, but I've yet to see a TikTok of somebody saying, back in 1993, I saw an unfinished version of The Lion King. Or
They're not allowed to sign an NDA.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, a kid?
Yeah.
They're not allowed to tell other people. It's part of the thing.
But a child, how is a child not gonna? I mean, you'd think they'd be able to speak now of what it was like. I've never heard of anybody saying they've been to a test screening.
No.
But and of course we have no idea how bad that death could have been.
So the VHS, which I had the original VHS. Did you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah.
So if we got that on day of release, we would have picked it up on the 18th of September 1995.
Oh.
So if you have any memories about picking up the video, I don't, I'm afraid.
I think I would have probably got it at Christmas.
It
Yeah,
Woolies
same.
for me.
Yeah,
If
my mum would. Yeah, because the Disney store hadn't opened in Aberdeen then. That was 97.
Yeah.
So it would have been Woolworths.
Yeah, you see, I would have got it at Christmas time.
Because
Yeah.
I don't remember if Asda were doing videos then.
We never went to an Asda.
So yeah, because obviously they weren't big then.
Everything would have been from Woolies.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it would have been Woolworths. And did you get a toy? Because I know they sometimes did that with video releases.
So I don't remember getting a toy with this one.
No.
Because I remember getting, which I think we mentioned on the podcast, when Lady and the Tramp got released on video. You got a
Yeah.
lady.
I
And when
got-
101 Dalmatians came out on video, you got a Dalmatian. I'm sure it was a
I
patch.
wonder if you got I've never had a Simba, so I would have.
See,
got
I
it.
did have a Simba beanie, but I can't remember if that was from the Disney store or if it was from the video. And he's
Well, no,
lying down.
If we all had the video and.
Yeah, you would have
we
had the
don't
beanie
remember-
then.
Yeah,
No.
So there must have not been.
no. Interested to know that.
Well, if anybody listening knows.
Yes, we want to know.
Yeah.
The DVD is probably the one that we won't have memories about, but that was the 20th of October 2003. So.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
I would have been in Spain.
The Blu-ray and the 3D
Oh, yeah. I
came out
remember that.
on the 7th of November 2011.
Yeah, we were all at the Disney
We
store.
were all
Yeah.
at the Disney store.
And we all went to see.
Well, so theatrical re-releases, not only was it released in 94, but you had 2002 and the 3D one in 2011, which we all went to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also had a release 2024 for the 30th anniversary. So yeah, does anyone remember the releases? Because I got the box set.
Yeah, I got the box set where you
Yeah.
got all three films.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because if I remember rightly, I think I bought, because there were buggers for this, where you got the film 1 week, and then like a week or two later, they then released
Yeah.
the pack of all the films. And I remember, I'm sure it was after they did it with The Lion King, I never bought a Blu-ray again on the first week of release, because I waited to get it in a double pack.
You see, I don't remember if the box set came out, because it was the box set that I wanted, and I remember we weren't allowed to do this, but sack me. Yeah, 10 years ago, people. 13.
Oh, we're getting a secret.
I hid a copy of the Blu-ray box because they were selling,
Yeah.
and I hid it. And I pretended it was just a random one on delivery one time when I had the money to buy it.
Oh, bless you,
So
Stephen.
I hid that one. I also did the same thing with Fantasia. Shouldn't have bothered. They were there for months.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do remember the Lion King selling out. That just went.
Yeah, because if I remember rightly, the cover was the Lion King title is down the side and Simba's face, adult
Yeah,
Simba's
cutout.
face comes out,
Yeah, it's a cutout.
and it's
over
blue. But then the trilogy
The trilogy's the brown one.
is the
what I
brown,
had.
and it had Pride Rock. Was that, or no? That was the silhouettes,
Yeah, no.
and they're at the bottom, aren't they? and like almost doing the Hakuna Matata dance, but it's every character.
I have it. I still have it.
Oh, do you? I don't have
underneath
mine.
my bed.
I can't remember what I did with mine.
I don't remember which one I got because I obviously had them on DVD and then I wanted to get them all on Blu-ray. But I do remember getting the picture, the A3 lithograph that we had at the Disney store.
Yes.
So I had one of those. So I don't know if I must have had to done a pre-order to get the lithograph. I can't quite remember.
We did that.
And it's just them stood on Pride Rock.
But yes, the 3D re-released again 2011. I didn't get the date, the actual date, but I remember going to that because I missed the Beauty and the Beast one.
I didn't go to the Beauty and the Beast one. It was the Lion King one.
No.
Yeah, the Lion King one we did. We all went.
Yeah, as a whole team.
That was with the face paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because we did. I was Timon.
I was just a lion.
Yeah,
I think one of the girls did it for me.
You did it for me.
Did I? I always do it for you.
Like with the little things, and there's a group photo of us. Which
I think I've got.
But I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'll post it on socials.
Yeah. It's a great picture. And was it Jenny was just a leaf?
Yeah.
Yes.
So funny.
Yeah, I do remember vaguely after work, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I wasn't working and I had to meet Jess and I had to walk from the car park with my face painted.
No,
whereas you did it in
the store.
In the store.
Do you know what? This is weird now because I can't remember actually a lot, but I remember being sat down on my knees, Jess, in front of you as you were doing it at the back between the screen and the back door.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I think it was near all the baby stuff.
Probably that's where they were.
I've got that memory.
Well, the photo's in front of all the mugs, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
On the back
I
wall.
couldn't.
But I remember you didn't want your face painted. You were really you weren't keen on the idea, and everyone just had really colourful, crazy faces. So I was like, "Just do it, Stephen. Just do it." And I just attacked you with a face paint.
I can't remember why I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have done it now.
Didn't somebody try and go Scar?
Yeah, but Primor went as Scar, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think Chris went as Rafiki. I have a really
he
crazy memory for stuff like this, so I sound a bit like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. This person was this and this.
Yeah.
He did Rafiki.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look great.
Well, like I say, I'll put the photo on socials because it always comes on my Facebook memories. So.
And then just to finish the releases in the UK, it was released on 4K on the 3rd of December 2018, which I also have.
Oh no, I didn't go down the 4K road.
No, me and Luke were going to start going down, and we were like, actually, and the Lion King was on some kind of offer, so we picked that up. But it's the only 4K Disney film that we've picked up.
Okay, have you got it on 4K?
No, I've not even got them all on Blu-ray yet, and I probably won't now. Streaming's such a thing. It's
yeah, I know. I took all my DVDs out of the cases and I bought one of those big zippy ones and I got rid of the boxes and.
See, we collected the special covers.
I know.
Yeah, I remember.
Remember when we used to get the movie reward points?
Yes.
And you could get the sleeves with them.
And I did.
I think I only managed to get a couple. And then they stopped doing the points.
Do you know what? I think I got Simba's Pride.
Oh, really?
On points, on Blu-ray, but obviously on DVD, sorry. Yeah, and I got the covers, but I got the villain covers. And then they stopped doing them. And then they brought out the hero cover kind of thing. So I still have my Cruella cover. Upon release on DVD, there was a bit of a concern because somebody out there decided to pause it, and the dust in the scene against Nala where she's being an absolute whore on her back, and Simba start doing what they need to do to make Kara or Fluffy at the end, supposedly spells out the word sex. But the company said actually it's an homage to special effects because they did it so it actually spells S-F-X.
Yeah.
When you pause it doesn't say either. There is an X there, but only if you're looking for the word.
Who is going to watch, like, the fact that there's people out there that watch them in slow motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what? You do you.
Yeah. Like, I like films,
Don't get me involved.
but I don't like them that much to watch them in
No.
slow motion.
No. I mean, sometimes, you know what? I've pressed pause on something, usually streaming and whatnot, and I press pause and I've got them and I've come back and I'm like, oh, that's a bit of a weird.
Yeah, I think everyone does that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'll say something, I'll say to Luke, I'll be like, that's your face when
Yeah.
I'm talking about Doctor Who, or, you know, when you come in talking about Lady Gaga, that's my face. That kind of thing. But I wouldn't be like, I must admit, I am a bit of a pain for picking up faults. So sometimes I will pick up a fault in something.
Okay.
But I won't go, oh my god, that spells the word sex, or oh my god, that vicar looks like he's happy.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Sequels and live action. So there is a stage show, as we said. In the original film, Zazu sings "It's a Small World" to annoy Scar, and Scar does anything but that. I can't do a voice. In the stage show, the original one, it was supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. However, that was replaced within the last decade. Can anyone think of what it would be replaced by? So it's changed within the last decade.
Is it another one that's now on Broadway as a sort of? So is
I
it
don't
like?
think it's got anything to do with
Oh,
it.
okay.
I think when I say the song, you'll be like.
So it's a big song.
Is it a Disney song?
Yeah.
Oh, is it Let It
Frozen?
Go?
It's Let It Go.
Yeah.
Anything but that, and I can understand because actually when me and Luke went last to Disney Park, I did actually say I'm getting a bit bored of Let It Go because it's just everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's been everywhere for a decade, and it's like you hear it with merchandise, you hear it on adverts for Disney, not even Frozen. When Disney Plus came out, it was Let It Go. It's got to the point where it's just like, I'm done with that song. And because we went to go see the Frozen show at Disneyland Paris. Oh my god, it's like a half an hour thing teaching you 3 movements.
And did you do the movements?
No, I did not.
Stephen, you party pooper.
I was trying not to slide off the damn chair. The benches are like really thin. It's like, geez, who was these made for?
Yeah,
Anyway.
they're new. They didn't used to have benches. Used to be stood up.
Oh, I'm glad we weren't stood up because my feet. We kind of went there for a sit down.
Oh.
There are sequels.
Yes.
Lion King 2, Simba's Pride.
Yeah.
Now, I've only ever seen this once,
Oh.
and I don't really remember it if I'm
Okay.
completely honest. But I did remember really liking it and thinking it was one of the good ones.
Yes.
It is one of the good ones.
Like,
Yeah, and the music is fab.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, almost as good. And I'm so glad that, like, He Lives in You. I mean, I prefer that to Circle of Life.
do you know what? I thought that was...
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to show my Disney F. You're going to ask me to leave. I thought that was from Tarzan.
Did you?
Yeah.
Has a similar sound.
Yeah,
Sure.
similar
I
sounds.
can see it.
Yeah.
Phil Collins?
No,
Okay.
I haven't Googled it, but I know it's not Elton.
No.
No, it's not. I mean, it could be Tim Rice still, but yeah, because in the film version, am I right that Tina Turner sings
That
the single
sounds
version?
right. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, she sings the single version because the Lion King sequel wasn't released in the cinema
No,
like
it
what
was
they
straight
are
to
now.
VHS,
It was straight to,
yeah.
but it was a very good straight to
Well,
video
the thing is I
release.
think they had a bit of an era where they did some really good sequels. Enchanted Christmas for Beauty and the Beast is one of them.
Well, it was about this time, so
Simba's Pride.
yeah.
And then something happened where they started doing things like
Fox and the Hound 2.
Fox and the Hound 2.
Patches. No, was it Scamp's Adventure?
Oh yeah.
Dalmatians, Lady and the Tramp. I mean, Little Mermaid 2. I haven't watched the third one. I can't get through the second.
Have you watched the third Lion King? Sorry, 2.5 as it's called.
1.5.
Is
One
it
and a
1.5?
half, yeah.
1.5.
I have.
And?
I watched it when I got that Blu-ray box set.
Uh-huh.
And I think I turned it off.
Oh, really? I like it.
I need to rewatch it because I can remember obviously the first two really well, and I know it's very Timon, it's Meerkat central. Yeah. Other than that, I can't remember it at all.
Well, you know how you mentioned earlier how Timon was going to have his backstory in the song? That's what 1.5 is. So you're getting where Timon's from.
So they couldn't make it work in about 6 lines of a song, but they've made a film.
But they do it in a way, so like, you know that short that they made of Olaf on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Where he was there the whole time. From the minute he's made after she sings Let It Go. And that...
Oh, yes, I do. It's alright, I'm thinking of the one where he does
it's like that.
The songs, where he retells them.
That, you know, like, so Timon and Pumbaa discuss, like, how they were there when Simba and Rafiki's holding up Simba. And, and they're telling the story, and it's funny.
I'd say it's the least good of the 3.
Yeah. But it's watchable. I think it's watchable.
I'm definitely going to watch it again.
I will try. So Luke's going through them. He's just done Oliver and Company.
Okay.
So we are going to watch Little Mermaid 2 and 3 together.
Right.
And then when we get to The Lion King, we're going to do it. But
I think obviously what's missing is like there's the music. It's not there. That's probably what it is, and it's not been animated the same. Whereas Simba's Pride, I personally think was animated almost as well as if it was going to be done in the cinema.
In fact, actually, Simba's Pride, you've had on when I was around your house once.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure I forced you to watch it because it was so good and you hadn't seen it. Yeah. And in particular, I liked the song that in Upendi.
Yes.
Which I think is it Rafiki sings because he's trying to get the 2 lion cubs. What's interesting is this one. I would also say it's very Shakespeare because it's kind of Romeo and Juliet because it's the 2 lion prides.
Yeah.
Sort of falling in love, but then they're not really supposed to.
Yeah.
And
well, again. You know, we've mentioned Romeo and Juliet before. It's used a lot as a basis for a story, and that's. But and it's got a good cast. You know, Neve Campbell's in it. Matthew Broderick comes back as Simba. The voice of Max Goof, I'm sure, is Kovu.
Yeah.
Kira's love interest. So, yeah.
And my love interest.
Yeah, Kovu.
He was an attractive little lion.
So on top of that, there was the Timon and Pumbaa TV series.
Yeah, watch that.
Brilliant.
I really remember, and I'm so glad it's on Disney Plus because a lot of TV series based on the films are not. Then we have The Lion Guard.
Which is good.
I love The Lion Guard.
I've seen 1 or 2 of The Lion Guard, and I actually think that's...
Yeah, when Jacob was into that, and now and again, I mean, he loves the music. Like, I've constantly got, oh. That's always, like, in the background. And, like, at the minute, he's watching, he likes those ABC videos. So, it'll be, A is for, you know, Anna. And it'll be the Frozen one. And so when they do the Lion King one, they mix everything Lion King. So some of the Lion Guard is in the ABC video as well. So.
And then we've come to the live action. Now, apart from, as I said earlier, the one shot of that sun kind of rising at the beginning, it's all CGI.
Yeah.
So therefore not a live action. I don't get a lot of the live actions, I'm not going to lie. I don't know why. I know the original premise was to update some of the older films to make them better for a modern audience, so I do get why they made this in a CGI way. I don't get why they took all of the magic out of this film completely. I don't know why they thought this was a good idea to remake it in the way that they remade it, and I don't know why it exists, and I also don't know why they're doing a beeping sequel to it. Prequel. Well, either way, I don't know why they're doing it, because, as I said, I can't really remember it, but Simba's Pride is universally known as a good sequel.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to do a sequel to a live action one, to update it for modern audiences, why don't you do the live action CGI version of Simba's Pride?
I'm sure they will.
Yeah. If this Mufasa film becomes a hit, like they think it is, and I think it will, then yeah, I have no doubt that they will do Simba's Pride.
I don't know. So I'm intrigued with the Mufasa film because it is stuff that we just don't know.
Yeah.
And I think there could be some really interesting stuff. But I mean, I'm always going to see it. If it's The Lion King, keep pumping them out. I'll keep going. I'll keep going to see them because I love The Lion King just in general.
Are you listening, Bob?
You've got a lifelong fan here.
So she'll
no
watch
matter
everything you put out.
what. Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I draw the line at maybe Zazu's backstory. I don't hate the live actions. I wouldn't say I love them, just all of them in general, of all of the Disney live action remakes. I do think the Lion King one has good points. I think the cast is good, and I think what they did with Hakuna Matata I enjoyed. That's probably where I draw the line. I don't agree with everyone's hatred for how unanimated the lions' faces were, because they were going for realism, even though it was CGI. So I can see it from both sides, but I liked it. I'm a big, I love lions, I love cats, so anything like that, I was like, yeah, I'll go watch it. Yeah, it's obviously not as good as the original.
I mean, I went to the cinema to see it. I can't remember was it with you? Or was it with Ben?
I remember going to it, and I remember saying to Luke that I thought that it wasn't awful. It one of the better live action remakes, but I just physically don't see the point in this one.
Mm-mm.
No, I mean, that was my issue. For me, see this Mufasa film.
I don't see the point in that either.
No, see now, if that was what they made originally, and instead of a remake of The Lion King, I'd be, because to me, it's an original story. We don't know anything about Mufasa's background. And the whole thing with Scar as well. So there is an originality in that. My issue with the I don't even know why it's called a live action. We'll just say a remake. Because it's not live action. The remake of The Lion King, I mean, like Jess said, I honestly thought I was watching real animals. It was out of this world, the graphics. So impressed. But it was just The Lion King. It was the same. But I didn't learn anything in that version. And he did the same with the Jungle Book. Because it's obviously they're both Jon Favreau.
He made that worse.
And all he did was take the same film, but did it CGI? Because again, apart from the boy, I'll give him, obviously and the boy was a fab. Don't get me wrong, he was so cute as Mowgli, but it's the same film.
Yeah.
And there was nothing to correct.
And this is what...
Except for, right, this is my other issue. If they were going to remake it, right, why not get an African cast? Because they have
No, you see, this
they
was
have
the thing with the Little Mermaid.
Africans version of Hollywood. It's Nigeria. What's it called again? Because you've got Bollywood, Hollywood, and then there's... I don't want to say Nigerwood because I don't think that's the right name.
No.
But they have their... Because their cinema is really big. So it's like, why didn't... I'm not saying... Because obviously it's not based in Nigeria, but they clearly have... Their film industry is clearly up and coming in Africa.
Yeah.
So if you're going to remake it, don't go down the American accents. You know, you've done that. We're you want to be authentic, so go to Kenya, go to South Africa, go to Central Africa, and get up and coming young actors from there. Find them on TikTok or find them on YouTube or give them the opportunity. You've got the music. Yeah. That didn't need to change because there was already African in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got American actors again. They're clearly doing it to make money.
Yeah.
They're just to know that people are going to go.
Well,
okay, we're sat here criticising them, but we're going to go and see Mufasa.
I will say
I'm not going to deny it.
I will say that if Luke didn't want to go, I wouldn't go see Mufasa.
I know I'm not going to go and rush to see Lilo and Stitch and Moana. I'm not interested in those remakes. But Mufasa at least is an original story. It's a prequel, so I am intrigued. And because as well, it could be the last time I hear James' voice.
Yes.
Because it's clearly the last project he did. Now, I'm not saying they managed to get him in the booth before he passed. But they might have had enough from previous other things that he's done between the remake and the original.
I wouldn't have thought there'd be that much of the film with Mufasa as an adult. I have a feeling that it's going to be maybe adult at the start and adult at the finish. Because I did see in the trailer that the Pumbaa and Timon voice actors are going to be in it. I mean, maybe it's going to be Timon and Pumbaa going, hey, let's learn about Mufasa, kids. This is what we know. And then go backwards. I don't know. Maybe they'll narrate it or something. Because otherwise, why are they even in it?
Yeah, or maybe is it Sarabi telling the story?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a flashback within a flashback. So we go back to Simba and then Simba has his dad telling it.
Yes.
I
who knows? We'll find out in like a couple of weeks.
People who already know who are listening to this podcast.
Yeah. So I know. It's already out by the time this podcast come out. So yeah, I hope we enjoyed it.
Then we've got some about the parks. So California, the characters are included within It's a Small World. There's also a mini animated series of It's a Small World, and Timon and Pumbaa feature in that as well.
Is there?
Yeah. Not seen it.
I've not seen it.
Go and have a look. Something called The Golden Sun, I think, is their episode.
Okay.
In Walt Disney World, the characters feature Fantasmic, Philomagic, The Legend of the Lion King, The Festival of the Lion King. They have a whole area in the Art of Animation hotel, which is Lion King themed, so they have like
the rooms,
well, they have like statues you walk through, like it's not a maze, but it's that kind of thing. And you've got like Zazu in a tree and Mufasa and whatnot. The Enchanted Tiki Room had an update called the Enchanted Tiki Room under new management, and was hosted by Zazu and Iago.
Okay.
That ceases to be now.
Okay.
But Zazu sits in the Walt Disney Studios in Burbank.
Okay.
Timon and Rafiki are meet and greet characters, although others appear as animatronics. And you mentioned is it that the Festival of the Lion King?
Rhythms of the Pride's Lands, I think the one in Disneyland Paris is called.
So there's
and it's at the theatre in Frontierland, next to the train station.
They also feature Stars on Parade in Disneyland Paris, and there is a statuette of Zazu in Adventureland.
Yes, with Car. I know, random. It's because I think in that character meet you can meet Rafiki and Baloo and King Louie.
Yeah.
Who knows?
On the cruise ships, Rafiki appears in a show called The Disney Believe on the Disney Dream.
Okay.
And Timon and Pumbaa appear in a story called Disney Wishes on the Disney Fantasy.
Oh, I was going to say the future plans of the park.
Yes.
Because obviously, D23, it was announced that Disneyland Paris in the, is it World of Adventure?
Yes.
Yeah, park is going to have a Lion King land.
Well,
I want a mini Animal Kingdom.
yes.
I better be what we get.
That is what it should be. Because over in...
I understand it's going to be a Splash Mountain, right? But
which is fine, 'cause we
with
don't
a
have
Lion
one.
King, with a Lion King layover, fab.
Yeah, brilliant.
You know, I want the meet and greet to be there. I want the restaurant to be there. I want to feel like I'm walking into the Lion King film.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fingers crossed. I think with the success of Avengers Campus and the Ratatouille, and with what Frozen looks like so far, I mean, wow.
So,
I am confident that we will walk into a mini Animal Kingdom.
So you guys haven't seen A Galaxy's Edge?
No.
No.
That is what the Lion King needs to be.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway. But yes, so
So
scores. Right, okay.
Let's go to our guess.
Yes.
Okay.
Out of 5.
Out of 5. Okay. So I would say, just based on the fact that it's the best film in the world, let alone the best Disney film, I can only give it a solid 5. 5 out of 5. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that film. And I think it has the best Disney villain. I didn't really touch on how much Scar is the best Disney villain, in my opinion, with the best song. And it just has to be a 5. The film is perfect.
Yeah, I gave it a 5. I couldn't fault it. I know it's not my favourite, but when I watched it, I was like, yeah, I wasn't bored. All the songs are good. Like, the story's good. It's got joyfulness. It's got sadness. It's got a fantastic villain. It's funny. Got a great cast. It looks fab. Like, it's nice to watch. And the fact that you've got the mixture of, you know, this beautiful landscape, and then during I Just Can't Wait to Be King, you've got like more mad, colourful patterns, that you would see on, you know, African dresses and or even their like tribal shields, you know, all those I gave it a 5.
So I wanted to go last because I gave mine a 3.
What?
That's outrageous.
No, I'm joking.
I was gonna say, Stephen!
I'm leaving.
No.
That's it. It's not the Jamie Stephen show anymore.
Jamie and Jess show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck with the title, Jess. I did give it a 4.5.
Okay, and you took a half a mark off because...
So, because for me, I have more of a connection with other Disney films.
Okay.
And I had to wonder why that. Because even as a child, I was never really, let's go and put this on. So that's why. The song's great, it looks great, the characters are great, the premise of it is all amazing. But for
it's
some
one
reason,
I've grown to love more over time.
And maybe I've just not got there yet.
Because I wasn't my favourite as a kid. I mean, I remember enjoying it as a kid, and I had all the merch. Like, I had the lunchbox, I had the Burger King cup.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
I had the bedding. I had pyjamas.
Yeah.
I had a Simba cuddly toy. I had a Pumbaa, and but
No, well,
it wasn't one that I would put on over other films. But I think between the musical and what I've seen in the parks and my boys, and like now I'm like, I'll say, like, Jacob was glued when we watched it the other day, which
So
he's never really watched it properly.
I've got a thing with Jacob and the Lion King.
Okay.
So you had just come back from Paris and you were saying that he was upset when it was over. He was stopping other people from clapping when the show was over. So I was looking after Jacob whilst you was at work and Finley was at a party and took Finley. And I was sat there and it was kind of, I was done with Winnie the Pooh. Jacob wasn't quite. And I thought, I'm going to put The Lion King on because I knew that he liked it there. So press play. And he was singing. And he wasn't singing the words as such, but he was singing like the phonetics of it. And he was, it's my turn to sing now, he was going, and I tried to get my phone. And so I was sat, he was behind me, and I tried to get my phone, and every time that I'd kind of got there, he stopped.
Yeah.
And it was like a comedy, you know, where it's like, and they stop, and it's like, you turn around and they stopped again, and it's like, it was like that. And I remember when Ben came back, I was like, he was singing along to it. You need to put it on. He was singing along to it, and like, so we played it again. Did he perform?
No, I know.
No, he did not.
Yeah, no, his favourite song out of it is Hakuna Matata. And the fact that he can say that now is fab. He loves, I mean, we've already talked about taking him to see the musical in the West End. We have to, because he loves the short version in Disneyland Paris.
5 out of 5 I'd give the musical.
Okay. Ooh.
I do enjoy, as a musical, it is amazing. I felt more connected to that than I do the film. If the Circle of Life segment at the beginning of both everything, even the film, is just amazing, and the live action missed the mark for me. Yeah. So
does the live action do the boom with the Lion King? It goes on screen like Lion King.
Yeah. I think it even copies that.
Yeah. And it still doesn't hit it. So I haven't seen the live action in so long, I can't remember.
I think it's the person who's singing it.
Yeah.
And not that they do a bad job. And it is more as the stage show than it is the film. For a cinematic experience, having that as your opening moments of a cinema, and for some reason it just didn't.
No, it didn't
get me.
No.
Whereas when we watched the 3D one, I remember it being that.
It makes me have tears.
It gives me instant goosebumps.
Like, I cried 4 times in the film. Even watching it for this really recently, there are 4 points in the film that I will always cry at, and it will never stop. Are you going to want to know what those 4 points are?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's obviously the intro. It's the Circle of Life. It's just with all the animals, and they're all like bowing and excited, and that's amazing. Obviously, it's the awful trauma and anxiety of the stampede, and then the death is just, that's the worst. And then I would say that I get tears when Rafiki is showing him to Mufasa in the sky. That always gets me. And then at the end, easily 4 points of emotion in that film every time.
Do you know what? I will leave this point as a lasting thought.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm just going to leave the room as I say it.
Okay.
Doesn't the Black Panther have a lot to do with the Lion King? Isn't that the same film? TTFN!
Bye!
Bye!
Thanks again for listening to the Jamie and Stephen Show. If you like this episode, please leave us a review. We love Disney films, and if you know anyone that loves Disney as well, then please share our podcast with them. We would really appreciate it. Thank you.